Timeline reality check. The long game. A trader's journey. Okay, I feel like this is a saga that I've just written here, as you'll see as I scroll down the page. But I think this is really important. There's different ways that you can come into being a trader, learning material, and improving upon your trading skills. And there's different attitudes. And so I want to go through them. I want to touch on the timeline, and then I want to touch on a potential journey. Just it's not going to be the same for everybody. Everybody's going to have a unique and different journey, but there may be some things on here you can get a heads up on and some things you can be made aware of and things like that. So expectation versus reality. So if you come into trading, just the trading world in general, which with the attitude of, hey, I'm going to watch some videos and I'm going to make bank, in a week, in 2 weeks, in a month, I can get through that coursework in a week and be off to the races. So the coursework is only one part of becoming a successful trader. The coursework helps lay the foundation for the knowledge part of becoming a successful trader. It shows you what works. It shows you how to map it out, how to identify what's going on, different options that you can try out to become a successful trader. It lays that whole foundation. Okay, the other part is like the Mr. Miyagi part, the wax on, wax off, Daniel-san. It's putting in the elbow grease, okay? It's really getting the job done, getting your hands dirty, really putting in the time and the effort to understand things about your trading and how you can improve. And that is the part that unfortunately many people leave out. And that is why we see a lot of courses get bought, but just in general in the trading space, everybody wants to buy a trading course, but not everybody, not maybe that they don't want to put in the work. I'm sure lots of them don't want to put in the work, but many of them just don't understand how much work has to go into it. And so if you come in with this attitude, it's going to be really difficult and nearly, it's going to basically be impossible for you to be successful at trading, because you really do have to put in quite a bit of work, not just watching a video to become successful. Whereas the reality of, if you really do want to become a successful trader, then you can come in with an attitude of, hey, I'm going to embark on a trading journey. I'm going to build a solid foundation. I'm going to develop discipline, and I'm going to learn how to journal my own trades. I'm going to use several different techniques to refine what works best for me over time and level up my trading and build a skill that I will have from here on out. Okay. That kind of attitude will take you far. You have just gone from, hey, I want to make money right now. I'm going to blow through the coursework. I'm going to go, trade some live money and things like that. And in a week or 2 weeks or a month or whatever, I'm going to start pulling out checks to, you know what? I understand that this is a long game. I'm not here for a get rich quick thing. I understand that it's going to take me time to build a foundation. I understand discipline is an integral part of trading. And I understand that I'm going to have to put in the work, okay, with a journal, with trying out different techniques, with reviewing my trades. This isn't going to happen overnight, but I understand that. And I'm ready to move forward and get better and better and better every week and every month until ding, 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 it's paying off big time. So I want to put the timeline into perspective for you. So a college degree, for a bachelor's at least, is 4 years of time. Okay, it's a shitload of money. Now, depending on where you go to school, it can really vary. After 4 years, you've got people, leaving college with $40K in debt, on the low side. Okay, that is like if you go to that's even sometimes community college status stuff right there. So I've been to 3 different colleges. Okay. Never passed once, never graduated once. I went to college for years, and I know what college debt looks like. Now, on the high end, you could be looking as high as $150,000 if you're going to be a doctor or something along those lines. Then you're looking at $250,000, $300,000, $400,000 in student loan debt. So I would say for the average person who goes for a 4-year degree, you're probably looking at anywhere between about $40,000 and $80,000. Okay, just depends on where you go. So, and it's usually too good to be true for most people, because having been to the whole college realm myself for years, going to 3 different colleges. I can tell you firsthand, not only going through myself, but knowing many people who have gone through college, you don't get what you're promised, okay? Or I should say, you are very, very rarely get what you're promised. Usually, you're expecting to get a degree, you're expecting to get a job with a minimum of $50,000, because that's a lot of the time what the colleges will advertise. Hey, you know, get a college degree. Studies show that the average grad makes at least $50,000 a year starting out, whatever. That is so unheard of unless you're in the tech sector, or unless you are pretty much the tech sector, honestly, or unless you get kind of I don't want to say lucky, but if you land, I guess, quote, the right job, and you have like an MBA or something like that, then you can go ahead and pull those numbers. For everybody else, that is super duper unrealistic. Many times college grads will just work they'll just work regular minimum wage jobs, like at McDonald's, at Walmart, and things like that, because either they don't want to have to move to a different state to accept a job, they can't get a job where they planned on, or they are waiting for a better job and they're not going to work, a $15 an hour job when they just spent 60 grand on this degree, and they thought they were going to get out of the gate making $25-$30 an hour. So they're just going to wait it out, keep applying to interviews and everything like that. And when the interviews don't come, they realize they've been working at Walmart for 2 years, and they're just wondering why they even wasted their time with the 4-year degree. So not necessarily, yeah, you know what? I guess I am knocking 4-year degrees, because I think that 90% of them are shit. So just keep that in mind, that a lot of us have been to college, man. A lot of us have done 2 to 4 years in college, and we have seen little to no return for it. And many of us, including myself, have racked up quite a pretty penny of debt going to school. And a lot of us, it's just we've been run through that cycle. So if that's going to take 4 years, and it's going to cost us $40,000 to $80,000, and we're not really in control when we graduate, okay? We're going to be run up the corporate ladder. We're going to hit ceilings. It's going to be hard to find a job. Depends what the job market's like, all that stuff. Right now, I have a year plan laid out right here. I have a 12-month plan, 52-week plan laid out here to give you a general idea, and kind of something for you to look at and then adjust your expectations, okay? It can be more, can be less, can be right on. And I want to do this so that you really put your expectations, you really you put them in line with reality, okay? So 2 to 8 weeks, you're getting your feet wet, okay? You're figuring out how this whole thing works. You're reviewing course material. If you struggle with impatience and things don't make sense quickly, or it requires too much work at first, which it is going to require work, you may second guess if you're fit to even be a trader. You may go, hey, man, does this stuff even work? I'm not profitable yet. I didn't know it was going to require this much work and things like that. So that's something to be aware of and just have a heads up with. You're spending time in your charts, okay? Now you're spending time in your charts and you're off YouTube, okay? So you're not searching for strategies anymore. You're not wasting your time. You're not saying, hey, is this one better than that one? Which one is the best real strategy? You know that there's no holy grail. You know that the holy grail is simplicity. You're no longer on the hunt for the correct information. You're starting to understand what to look for. There's a lot of information, and you're trying to put it all together at this time, between 2 to 8 weeks. Practicing plotting in support and resistance, understanding spread, correct stop loss and take profit placement, and why it makes sense to put it in certain areas. When you execute trades, you're most likely fighting fear of missing out, revenge trading, frustration, and or back-to-back trades. You're battling your personal/trading baggage and any bad habits or beliefs that you've developed against this new, simpler, and more effective way of trading. Okay, you may have a little bit of cognitive dissonance there as well. I've run into many people who said, it's impossible to trade the 1-minute chart. You cannot execute trades for profitability on the 1-minute chart and all this crazy stuff. You've started journaling and maybe even started making a few connections and uncovered some valuable things about your trading, okay? So you're going back, you're reviewing those trades in your journal, you're becoming familiar with that. You're becoming familiar with a demo account. And when you hit a trade, you're probably wishing, quote, as a newbie, that it was real money, okay, when it goes in your favor. So you'll make that shift, okay? You'll grow out of this mindset once you realize it's not about the money. It's about executing high quality trades and managing them effectively. You'll be excited by seeing other traders' trades, especially big wins, okay? So this will be really exciting to you when somebody has a big win. It'll be a really big deal. And we'll go on and your mind will become reframed. I mean, hey, I still think big wins are amazing, and you will too, but there's just a different way that you'll start to think about them. So, okay, 8 to 16 weeks. So you start seeing setups forming more clearly on the chart. You've accepted that you don't need to try and make support and resistance levels work, and more often than not, wait for the clean ones. Okay, you're not perfect, but you're definitely making leaps and bounds in progress here. You're starting to feel like you don't have to take every trade that comes your way, but are now focusing on quality over quantity. Through journaling, you've been able to see nuances that separate losers from winners and probably have a few 1 to 5s, maybe even a 1 to 7 under your belt at this point. FOMO, revenge trading, frustration, and or back-to-back trades have minimized drastically. You've been able to start narrowing down some of your weaknesses and keeping them in mind while trading. So instead of being a victim of your weaknesses, you've been able to acknowledge and accept them, and now you can work with those weaknesses. You can take losses easier than you could before because you've started to recognize if you stick with it, you'll be profitable in the long run, and you're getting better and better every single month. Your executions have improved as well as your confidence in what you're looking for, and what you're looking at on the chart. Okay, so you're identifying what's going on better than ever. A few of you will go from demo to live trading during this phase. You may find that you like or begin to specialize in a single setup. Maybe you really, really like break and retest. Maybe you really like double tops or double bottoms. Maybe you really like layering the confluences in a specific way and you just wait for those setups. So maybe break and retest with a fibs at the 618. And maybe even the 200 running through, your entry candlestick pattern, something like that. More importantly here, though, maybe what you'll do is you'll recognize that you actually don't have to take every type of setup. You can just have a single setup that you wait for, and that'll be okay. Having some of your own good size wins, you'll start looking inward at your own trading more and more. That's beautiful. Okay, 16 to 26 weeks. This is where you've really built up a journal. You have a track record of trades that you've managed and learned from. Some of you will go from demo to live trading during this phase. You'll learn to reflect on your own trading without comparing yourself to others. You have a routine and know exactly what you're looking for on the charts. You found what works well for you and what doesn't work well. You journal every trade and revel in simplicity. You've learned to be totally vulnerable and objective while reviewing your trades. Man, that is so huge right there. You know your weaknesses and understand when it's time to stop trading, walk away, or close up shop for the day, okay? This is stuff that you can only do if you get to know yourself and get to know your own trading. You don't take every trade that comes your way. You understand big wins are nice, but the details are in the management of a trade, regardless of whether it's a 1-to-1, a 1-to-2, or a 1-to-10. It doesn't even matter. Weeks 26 to 52. You're simply rinsing and repeating, journaling, trade review, and adjusting minor things about your trading to become more consistent. You have everything dialed in at this point. Things are like clockwork for you now. You know which days you prefer trading, the hours, the pairs, and your favorite setups. Some of you will become masters at trading the 1 minute during this phase, but you also recognize that this is a long game and you're always improving little by little, okay? Now, these aren't necessarily expectations that I want to lay out for you. Not necessarily, but I want you to have this perspective, okay? That, during the first month or two, you're just trying to get everything, you're just trying to understand everything, okay? You're just trying to get to the point where you can identify setups, get to the point where you can kind of draw out your support resistance, do everything that was said here. And then, 2 to 4 months, 8 to 16 weeks, during that time, you're going to level up. You're going to get better. You're going to start to draw on a little bit more consistency. You're going to start to recognize some weaknesses about yourself that you've started to overcome. Your journaling is going well. At this point, okay, at about 4 months to 6 months, then, I mean, if you put this trader up against the 2 week trader, there is going to be a big difference. This trader is going to have a lot more confidence, going to be trading in simplicity, going to be able to recognize what they're looking for, going to know their weaknesses like the back of their hand, understand how to trade with those weaknesses and how to mitigate them, basically. Has gotten really good at reviewing trades, has dropped the ego and all of that. And so this trader is going to look a lot different than when you just came in. And then 6 months to a year, you're simply rinsing and repeating and making little teeny tiny minor adjustments along the way. So I want you to take this, and I just want you to just really let this sink in, that trading is a long game, okay? This is not necessarily going to be everyone. Some of you are going to be coming in, you've already done some work on yourselves, you already have a lot of basic experience as far as trading. Maybe you've already traded for a while. Maybe you're already profitable. Okay, maybe you're just looking for a simpler way to trade or a few missing pieces to the puzzle. Okay, then you're probably going to be, past this area. You're probably going to be here, or you may be starting here but only be here for, a week, sort of a thing. Some of you, you're complete noobs, or you've done nothing but strategy hop. You haven't built up any real positive habit or anything like that. As far as all the information that it's done nothing but confuse you. You could be here for 2 months. You could be here for 12 weeks. It's just going to depend on, what how hard you're willing to work on yourself and the bad habits that you have, and also how things make sense to you, okay? If everything's going to take a while to make sense to you and really sink in, then it's going to take a while to sink in, okay? There's nothing else to it. There's no magic, Jack the Beanstalk bean that I can give you that's going to speed this process along, or anything else. Everybody has their own individual timeline, and the more that you respect that and the more that you take that into account, then the easier of a journey and the better of a journey that you're going to have if you don't force these super rigid timelines onto it. Okay, so I think that wraps that up.